Hi, so this is the Modular Spaghetti Solutions, and this is the first video on typography. So I'm super psyched about this. I've been studying typography and making fonts since like 7 years or 8 years. So it's been a fun ride, and I thought I would like share what I learned. So here we're gonna try make the first 5 basic letters, and this is the result we're going for, the A, N, O, D, E. We're gonna try and make a proper font, like a Helvetica style font, but this is a font I'm building right now. Here is to show you that just with a circle and a line, we can get like all the forms we need to make a font, and we're making, of course, a modular font. So that it has like consistency and all the letters can feel that they're made from the same family. So that's super important. One rule that you can see here is we have 2 lines on top, 2 lines on the bottom, and that's really important because optically, typography is really like an optical game. You're playing with proportions, you're playing with the contrast, and you're always cheating with those proportions to trick the eye into believing that it has the same proportions as another letter. But we're not going through that in this tutorial. This tutorial is all about just showing the basic building blocks of a font and how we would start to build it, of course. But we're not talking about any proportions, spacing between the letters, any kerning, or any other specifics. So the N will seem larger, and yeah, I'm going to talk about maybe one important rule here, which I will demonstrate, is that, yeah, I was talking about these 2 lines that we have on the top and the bottom. So the interior lines on the top and the bottom are for all the straight modules, and the external lines are for all the rounded modules, because the fact is that the way the eye sees round modules is that if they are aligned to the straight modules, completely like mathematically aligned, the eye sees them as smaller, because it's just the tip of the rounded part that touches the end. So it looks like it's smaller, as if we extend it a bit, it looks aligned. It looks much more aligned optically. And you can see this here. I'm going to purposely do it on the A, where I'm going to align it on the straight part of so on the interior line, the bottom line of the A. So the rounded part is going to be aligned on the inside lining, aligned to the straight part. And there you can see that there's a problem in proportion. You feel like it's a bit higher inside. It looks like it's disproportionate, as in the end, as we have in the N, the top part is on the exterior part of the line, and we can see that the proportion feels more correct. Here the proportions are a bit more extreme. It's just for demonstrative purposes, but you can see, like on the A, that it doesn't feel right. It doesn't feel aligned. It should go a few points lower. Not as extreme as I'm showing here, but it should be a bit lower than the straight lines. Everything round should basically be a few points over the straight lines. So here I'm demonstrating. I made the A, I made the N. So the N has a part of the O. So those are the building blocks. And then we have the L, which will be used for the I, the D, and for all the straight parts of a font, which I'll be explaining later. Here I'm just going to show you just the basic font construction. It's not going to be perfect. It's just to show you these are the basic 5 letters we need to make a font, because I mean, the A is the most, I would say, emblematic letter for your font. It's kind of like the signature letter where you bring in the kind of recognizable aspect of the font. It's the kind of identity letter, because like you won't recognize your font with the letter O, for example, but you can recognize it with other letters, of course. So here is a few, I'm doing a few little tweaks on the rounded part of the D. And the inside parts of the D should be the same modules as the parts of the N and the A. I'll be circling parts after to show you. So we're just going to build the E quickly, and then I'll be explaining to you. So this is really quickly done. This is just to explain to you it's really just a simple way to do it, and I would really suggest that you do this by hand. Really draw, scan, use a pencil or some a bit of white paints to get off the parts you don't like, the proportions and everything. And by drawing you'll really like train the eye. You can even cut out the parts you don't like with scissors, the parts of the letters out, and rescan them, photocopy them, or just do it all with a rubber and pencil. And yeah, it's really important. So here we have the 5 letters, and so I'm gonna show like the different modules and parts I used with these circles, and that's how we're gonna see like. So this is the inside of the N. It's just to show that how a font is consistent, and how we make it consistent by using modular systems. So these are the red ones are all the ones that go out of the line, straight out of the line. And then the blue one is going to be showing the curves that we're trying to get to resemble. So all these, so the blue ones come from the O firstly. So it's like a quarter of the O, but then of course we optically deform it a bit, cut it out a bit, and yeah, typography is all optical. So we have to kind of like, of course, optically correct. Like the O is never a perfect circle. That is like a fact. You can check in all different fonts. It's never a perfect circle. It's a blend. It's a sort of ovalish. It depends on their font actually, really. Unless you're doing, even if you're doing a geometric font, you won't have a round O. There's gonna be a few little deformations to make it look round for the eye, because if it's really round, it won't look round for the eye. So it's all about tricking the eye into making proportions and forms look perfect. So you can see that the blue parts are taken from the O and are repeated in different parts of the letters. And here the last part, the green part, is the simplest part. It's just showing where I used the straight lines. So we could take this from the letter I or the letter L. These are all modules or composites that we use in glyphs. So this is done in Illustrator, and we will be moving to glyphs quite quickly. Illustrator was just to make the tutorial go faster, but I would suggest you draw it by hand, and then we can start adding contrast to the letters, and we can talk about proportions and spacing and everything. So I hope you enjoyed this first tutorial, and we'll start getting more seriously into the deep ends of type design. So yeah, see you on the next one. This was the Modular Spaghetti Solutions. Bye.